Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to One Hub Racing. We're here for the Pinnacle Tier Grand Prix here in Montreal, Canada. We're at the Circuit Shields Villeneuve for today's Grand Prix, and we are live heading into what could be a crucial race for both the Williams drivers. The championship can be decided today. The man we are looking at right now on the wet compounded tyres, NSX Montana, he could win the Drivers' Championship today here in the Pinnacle Tier. It is a wet race. We are going dry for the Grand Prix, and a man who's certainly not dry with his opinions and his facts is Jamie. How are you doing?
Yeah, hello, good evening. Yeah, I'm excited for this, obviously. Yeah, it should be a good one. Obviously, we had a bit of controversy midweek with the results, so championship
Yes,
probably will be won tonight, but you never know, it may change. And interesting enough, in this qualifying, we've got a mixture of inters and wets at the moment, so that could one to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, there's a bit of a mixture here, and if you did watch the Italian Grand Prix last week, you would have seen a really good result for Tom Robbo in his championship hunt. Tom received a 5-second time penalty after the race by the stewards for readying up too early. Now, we're not going to talk about it too much on the stream. You can think about it what you like at home, but yes, he did receive a 5-second penalty for that, and safe to say he was not a happy camper. He is focused tonight, and he wants to win. He needs to win if he wants to keep the championship alive, because the man he's against is he's no slouch, that's for sure. Montana's on a lap now. He's on the wet compounded tyres. There's a few guys on the intermediates, and that is something to note. I imagine at some point at the end of the session we will all be on the intermediates, because Montana is certainly struggling.
Yeah, he is. He's just larking. Goes a sec. Oh, yeah, he's not looking the most comfortable. As I think we're out in the crossover point between inters and wets, as Tom Robbo sets a 1:20, and we had a wet qualifying art here, and it stayed 4 wets all the way through. I know with 4 wets, the traction is so difficult. It's Montana pits, so obviously
he's had enough of that. He's given up. First time goes to his teammate. It's a 26 for Tom Robbo, the man who is trying to keep his title alive today. There is 3 guys serving engine penalties, and I believe they're fairly straightforward who they are, but I have them beside me as well. They are Chalkers, Henry and Nick, the 3 ERT men, the 3 Musketeers, are serving an engine penalty today. I imagine those will be the last engine penalties we have this season.
No, we've got quite a few actually. You just need to take one in. I think we've got 3 or 4 that need to take theirs in Portugal. So that could keep an eye out for. If it was like it's a good time, then second place. So we've already had it in another tier. We've had a driver get DNF'd because they forgot to change their engine. So I think there's a 2 or 3 drivers left to do it, and hopefully they remember before next week.
There goes Larkin, second man set a time. Owen Wyatt is still going to have a push lap here on the wets. He fancies a bit of that extra grooves on his tyres. Of course, they're now called the Extreme Wets, seemingly. The name changed according to the FIA. They're now the Extreme Wet tyres. There goes Robin West. He's on the Inters 3.8. I think we are definitely on the intermediates, because the wet tyres are definitely struggling. There's Khalifa gone 9/10 of a second behind, but I have to say, Owen White has not did a bad job of that first sector. He is purple.
He's fastest, yeah. He may just get away with this because it does say storm weather, and I think the rain is getting worse, so he may be actually getting towards the full wet, as Owen White has a bit of a moment there coming out of the chicane. And what's the new sector going to be? Is it going to be
purple sector for Khalifa now? Khalifa's gone quickest in that first sector, but no, that's beaten by Tom Robbo. He's gone quicker. That was purple again for Robin West. Not Robin West, apologies, Owen Wyatt. He is purple in the middle sector, so the wet tyres are definitely working better. There goes Larkin to the pole. That's a 20.1. Had a fantastic qualifying in Brazil. Could he have another fantastic qualifying here in Montreal? To the final chicane for Owen Wyatt. You need to nail this. This is really difficult. Oh, he's almost lost it, but he's just about kept the car. Ryder Dahl goes up to second. Here comes Owen Wyatt across the line. It's only good enough for third. That mistake in the final sector cost him. This is going to be a bit of a peach of a lap for Tom Robbo. He is absolutely flying according to the sector times. Purple in 1, purple in 2. His teammates out on track on the intermediate compounded tyres. Now he's abandoned ship on the wets. I think the inters are just quicker at this point, but the wets are not far off. We may be going. Oh, he's invalidated. That's a big mistake for Tom Robbo, and it's not the mistake he needs. He was absolutely clear of pole position on that lap. He would have smashed a lap record if there was one for wet weather tyres. The matter is on a lap now. Driver of the day last week, Matt. He's big slide there. That's really well caught for the matter. He's currently 9th in the championship. He's having a really good end to the season. The start was fairly poor for the McLaren, but he's picked it up. Oh, he's invalidated there now, mind you, but he has picked it up overall. Purple sectors is now going to Ryder Dow. Is purple in the middle sector. Tom Robbo is purple in 1, but Tom Robbo's invalidated again. It's another mistake. Ryder Dow had a great race in Monza, mixing it up with the front crew. He's got through the final chicane, and he's just about managed to keep his car in a straight line, getting the traction, picking it up, and across the line, Ryder Dow takes the pole position. He's the first man into the 19s, and that is a fantastic lap for Ryder Dow. We'll see what Montana can do. Into the middle sector, get the traction up. He's in 5th gear and just struggling. All 6 pistons on that V6 engine are absolutely working in unison to get this car around the track and possibly on pole position to take his championship. He needs to push this one right towards the walls. Fetbas, a man we haven't seen in a while, goes to 3rd for Ferrari. Montana is purple in the middle sector. This is what he needs to be doing. The Inters are very much clear of the wet compound tyres. It's 2 purple sectors for Montana. Oh, and Wyatt is still purple in the first sector. So the first sector clearly a little bit more wet than the rest of the track, because he did set his tyres on the wet compound. Into the final chicane comes Montana. Very smooth, absolute, exceptionally smooth for Montana, and across the line, and undoubtedly pole position. He beats Ryder Dow by 0.6 of a second, and I think the only man challenging him here will possibly be Tom Robbo, but he's back in the garage. It definitely does look like the rain is easing up, however.
Yeah, I think another guy might challenge him. Maybe could have been Henry, but obviously he's taking his engine penalty.
Larkin goes to 2nd.
Samba's coming out on full. Well, it's coming out on Inters. Yeah, my graphic did update there, but yeah, it is definitely in the condition now. You see the track is a bit more of a drier line side of form. So yeah, this is his last 4 or 5 minutes. Let's see these lap times tumble.
Oh, Fetbas clatters the wall. He was up on this time as well. He still improves. My 6 cents of a second.
Second, I think would have been second without that mistake.
Yeah, I think he would have. It was a decent lap by Fetbas. J. Cole. Into the pit lane. Lakitu's on a bit of a run. Lakitu, just like a lot of weeks, won the last time we visited here. It was currently all the 3 drivers on the podium last time we visited Montreal are all here this evening. It was Lakitu who won, Samba in 2nd, and Khalifa in 3rd. Khalifa currently 7th, Samba 16th. As that is a yellow flag. I believe it's for one of the Williamses actually, but we're going to stick with Lakitu here. He's on a bit of a run. He has set a 25.4
very deep
in the middle sector, as Montana is almost on pole by a second.
Yeah, that is quite dominant, and Nikita's going to improve into personal best, which is no surprise because he hasn't set a lap time yet. I think at the moment Nikita may be on for that, maybe around where own White is. I think if he gets a good run through the chicane, it looks quite good, but nowhere near as good as Yeah, it looks good, but obviously not Montana standard. But I think he'll take that. It's cross line. He goes to 5th place.
Goes 5th, so, 2 behind his teammate. Not bad. 3.5 for Alfa Romeo. That's He'll take that. As we see Conzo on a bit of a run. Sam was pulled back into the pit lane. He did come out on a set of the Inters. Might have picked up some damage, maybe. No, he didn't. He didn't pick up some damage. Fethbas was the last man to receive damage, and that was what that yellow flag was for in the first sector. Conzo just struggling to pick up the traction, but he hasn't did too bad a job of it. You can see the surface there of this Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It's almost like an ice rink, because it's not wet enough for the full wets to give full grip, and it's kind of in between, is what I'd say. It's definitely intermediate conditions, but it is.
Yeah.
It's not so like really wet. It's more slippy. As you can just see, Conzo, he just has to struggle, and that is... Montana, can you calm down, please? That's an 18.7 for Montana, and he's on pole by 1.1 of a second. So, he's not doing too shabby here. Tom Robbo, though, is purple in Sector 1. It's a PP in 2. However, he is only a 1/10 of a second off in the middle sector, so this is not a bad run for Tom Robbo. It is the two Williams who's going to be at the front of this grid, I imagine, if they both can set good lap times, because Legend is not here, and it has been them three, really. Hamilton, Verstappen and Bottas from 2021. Well, 2020 more so. Perez was there mixing it with them in 2021. That's Samba out of the session, actually, without setting a time. Not good. Tom Robbo across the line, goes second. He's a tenth of a second off, which makes it look a lot prettier for the gap between first and second. But yeah, it is a massive, massive gap from the Williams to the rest of the field. Ryder Dahl is on another run. Ryder Dahl was flying along in Monza. He picked up his first podium in one hub. I believe he finished second because of that Tom Robbo penalty.
Yeah. Let's not forget though, these guys set their laps when the track wasn't in these conditions. So I think these guys can all improve. I don't think they'll match the Williams guys, but I'd expect to see these guys improve by at least half a second towards near a second. So yeah, these guys, they definitely can improve, but as Ryder Dahl invalidated,
yeah, he
good
invalidates.
first sector.
Tom Robbo was on another lap, but he's not improving. Larkin is.
Good middle sector, Tom Robbo. You may still get this.
He's picked it up. Just what we were saying about Ryder Dahl. Ryder Dahl has only had 4 race finishes this season. He's only had 3 race finishes this season. He finished 5th, finished 7th and 2nd. He's on 33 points, and he picked up a lot of them last week in Monza. As Tom Robbo abandons ship. Abandon ship.
Out of fuel. Yeah, he was out of fuel there, so he come in for a fresh set of tyres.
Khalifa is improving. The Mercedes-men, a lot of these guys haven't set laps yet on the improved track conditions, so that's why we're seeing a lot of green sectors on the timing screen. If you want to see the timing screen for yourself, you can do ! dash. No, not dash, ! help to get our TAS telemetry system provided by, well, TAS. Don't know why I thought it was a different person. As there goes J. Cole mixing it up with the front crew. That's a 1.9 second improvement on his previous best.
Owen's on a good lap as well.
Yeah, Owen's purple in sector 1. Owen Wyatt is definitely showing some signs of pace. He's purple in 2 according to the game. That's not he, however, is...
not far off.
Yeah, Montana is a 24/7 in the first sector. Owen Wyatt is a 24/7 in the first sector. So, middle sector, apologies. So, they're definitely both very similar. Here comes Owen Wyatt through the chicane. Again, very, very good for another driver. Here comes Owen Wyatt across the line. And he goes to pole! What a final sector!
Yeah, good lap there. Really good lap as Robin West has spun it coming down the back straight.
Oh, Robin,
yeah,
that's
great
unlucky.
lap there by Owen. Yeah. Don't think he's got damage off, so never had to cover, but yeah, good lap there as Ryder Dahl moves to the 4th place, and this gap is closing, but Montana on these fresh tyres, these fresh tyres, they give you, the inters do wear out quite a lot, so a fresh set of inters, getting the right temperature range, I'm surprised Montana is very close to maybe the low 18s, maybe even high 17 in this lap. I think he's got a lot more pace in the bag, I think.
Konzo, he's made a mistake there, but he was on a good run. As Owen Wyatt was only purple in the first sector, but he matched Montana in the rest, and he is mighty in that first sector, because even when everyone else was on inters, he was still purple in sector 1 on the wets. So he is definitely very good through sector 1. Ryder Dahl's on another bit of a run here. You know, Ryder Dahl, it says he's up by 3/10 on his lap. Yeah, Ryder Dahl has gone purple in the middle sector. Ryder Dahl he's really proving himself to be a bit of a racer here these last few rounds. He's shown lots of positive signs. He was with them throughout the entire race in Monza. It's not like he got that podium lucky. He definitely deserved it on pace. As Owen Wyatt improves again. Owen Wyatt's really proving here, these two guys, not involved in that championship fight, but they're definitely proving we deserve to be in the Pinnacle tier. Here comes Ryder Dahl. Can he beat Owen Wyatt? No, he can't, no. But he would have if Owen didn't improve. So that was big improvement for Owen Wyatt. And Ryder Dahl now, we said it'd be a Williams front row. It's now an Owen Wyatt, Ryder Dahl front row. Montano on a lap here. He's purple in 1. So that's Robin West out of the session. That is through turn 7.
Larkin's on the good lap as well. Larkin's not too far off here. Larkin could haul himself right into contention here. He could be right up there if he gets a good run for the final chicane, which you have to really attack. This is a track where you have to attack the chicanes. You cannot leave any distance, because if you go, how's he just through here? Looks quite solid. Looks quite smooth. He's going to take the tight line across the line. I think he is. This could be quite close to pole position for...
Oh, he has!
It is pole.
Larkin smashed it at the end. Here comes Montana across the line. He needs to put in a lap and a half here. He gets it again, and now the track is definitely improving. Ryder Dahl is flying, absolutely flying on his lap. It's a purple 1 and a purple 2 for the Alfa Romeo, and this car is working around Montreal. Its track is definitely improving by the second here through the final chicane. Don't want to touch that outside wall, the wall of champions. Well, maybe you do if you want to win a championship. Here comes Ryder Dahl. Only goes second. Poor last sector for Ryder Dahl. Only goes second, that is. But he's less than half a tenth of Montana. Owen Wyatt, I believe, is pushing again here. We'll get some sector times in a moment. He's up. It's not purple, but he's up. Keep an eye on Tom Robbo's invalidated again. He's having a horrid time. Bass was very quick in the early part of the session. We'll see where he can put his Ferrari now. This is going to be up there. No, it's not. It was a poor last sector. He goes to 9th. Ryder Dahl's improving again. Yeah. It's not quite purple, but it is improving. Montana's also improving. Oh, Ryder Dahl's made a mistake, and he's all very lucky to not be out of the session there. He's definitely picked up some damage. Montana's going to absolutely smash this pole time. Absolutely smash it, and there you go. It's a 17-6 to finish the session for Montana, and that is going to take a job.
Yeah. So these guys now cross the line, they're going to finish. Tom Rebel may get another lap in. He just about makes it, but everybody else now is going to be finished. So the Matter's up on his lap. Can he improve in position? He'll cross the line now. He moves up to 5th place.
That's a great lap for the Matter. Really good stuff there to go to 5th position for the McLaren man. Larkin. Owen Wyatt is purple again in the middle sector. Oh, he's invalid. Oh no, Owen Wyatt.
Oh no. That could have been.
He's invalidated his time. Larkin is down as well. What's Tom Robbo doing? Tom Robbo is up by 0.3 of a second. Tom Robbo is purple in sector number 1, folks. He needs 1.1 seconds in this final lap. This needs to be a Senna-esque pole time if he wants to beat Montana. No, he won't.
Oh, he's invalidated, so...
That's just terrible qualifying result for Tom Robbo. He's down in 7th. Larkin is pushing as well in this time. He's doing quite good. Ryder Dahl is finished, but that's a brilliant result for Ryder Dahl. Can Larkin somehow find 0.6 of a second in this final sector to beat the mighty Montana?
He might get the front row here.
Yeah, he might get the front row. I think that's what he'll be aiming for. I don't think he'll be thinking that he can beat Montana. He'll definitely be aiming for the front row. Here he goes across the line. XL Larkin was on the front row in Brazil. He'll be on the front row in Canada. And that is qualifying, folks. Montana takes pole in the race. He could be crowned Pinnacle tier champion. His rival Tom Robbo will have to settle for mediocrity. He starts 9th.
Yeah, as Tom Robbo's crashing to the pits, I think he's very frustrated with that. That's not what he wants. He needs to beat Montana to keep him the championship, and it's just I think he had the pace.
Yeah, he had the pace today. He definitely had the pace.
But Canada is notorious for the corner cuts and the invalidations, and that's what cost him. Even if he had an open lap, I think he would have on the front row, but because he tried to push a pole, it sort of cost him in the end. And
well, he had to push, and unfortunately it hasn't paid off in the slightest for him. Montana takes the advantage. The ball is in Tom Robbo's court because he needs an improvement.
Yeah, so we've got Montana on the pole with XL Larkin second. Good qualifying from him. Brad down in third, showing some good form. Again, Owen White yet again up there in 4th. Good qualifying for Alpine with Jake Hall in 5th. Cleaver in 6th. Mamata in 7th, Konzo in 8th, Tom Robbo in 9th, Bass in 10th, Nikita in 11th, Robin West in 12th. At the back, the 4 guys who didn't set lap times were Chalkers, Henry, Nick and Samba, and they were the guys, I believe, who had engine penalties, so no surprise there at the back of the field. But Canada's a track where you can overtake, and with a dry race, this is quite interesting. What tyres will these guys start the race on? As the strategy, there's multiple strategies you can use on a 2-stop round here. It's not just the one obvious strategy.
A 2-stop is the better strategy as it is. Of course, if you're new to 1-hub racing, you have to do a 2-stop. It's mandatory. But the 2-stop is the quicker strategy around here. We don't get that often on this game, do we? We're in for a treat this evening, folks. But yeah, the 2-stop is definitely quicker. And now going to hand over to Jamie to give us our sponsors.
Yeah, also we thank them yet again for their great support in the league, and we're sponsored by Next Level Racing, who are sponsoring the league by providing the prizes for this season for our champions. We're also sponsored by Pure Sim Gear, who are sponsoring the league by providing a pair of their sim racing gloves to the driver with the most combined poles and fastest laps for the duration of the season. I think Montana may be in a good place for that. Partners, partnered by First Team, who are sponsoring our championship, who are supporting our championship prizes. ERT, who are partnering us with the ERT Go and Gets Tough Award and the league trophies, and SimGrid, who they do all our results in the back area. They sort of figure out the sign-ups, the results, the stewarding, and all that's done through there. So a big shout out to them, who really help us support the league and offer us some great racing during the season.
And now it's for the traditional 11 phrase of we couldn't do this without them, but we really couldn't. It's great support over the course of the season. We're slowly getting ready to go here in Canada. It is Montana on pole, and Jamie is going to tell you fairly straightforward how he can win the championship. I realised I had landed that one on you, Jamie, but I'm just trying to fix my mic.
Well, basically, in simple terms, all Montana has to do is either match or beat the point total, which Tom Robbo gets. Obviously, Legend is out of it because he's not racing, so he's out of it whatever happens. But yeah, all Montana has to do is beat whatever Tom Robbo does, and if he comes out of here with a 21-point lead, which he's 22 points ahead at the moment, then he'll win the championship. So yeah, it's pretty simple. If Montana's lead Williams, then he's the champion. If they're both DNF, he's a champion anyway.
Yeah, we're getting going now. I think there was a bit of a delay there, but we are getting going now.
Hopefully no penalties. Hopefully that meant no penalties.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully, Tom Robbo, you didn't rally up too early this time, because we want the championship fight on our hands. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Montreal, originally called the Light Notre Dame Circuit. It was renamed in 1982 after the fatal crash of Gilles Villeneuve in Zolder. The Wall of Champions, you'll have heard us mention that once or twice tonight. It was originally called the Bienvenue, excuse my French, au Quebec, or the Welcome to Quebec. It was renamed due to drivers smashing into the wall, and a lot of world champions did it. Michael Schumacher, Jenson Button, and of course the very famous Pastor Maldonado also gave it a slap one year. If Montana outscores Tom tonight, he is the champion, ladies and gentlemen. But one other notable thing is, just like to congratulate Nick. I was having a little bit of a read through the stats earlier, and this is Nick's 85th race that, well, we've kept track of. This is his 85th race in season number 4. He's had 79 points finishes since season 4, and he's 729 career points. That is all since season 4. We've not kept track on 1, 2 and 3, but congratulations to Nick for that. That is a brilliant achievement. Tom has never finished outside the points in his 29 appearances. He needs to finish at the top of the points today, realistically, to keep his championship alive. But we are here on the man-made built island in Montreal. Your tyres are to the left-hand side of your screen. We'll run them through really quickly. It is softs, and softs for Montana and Larkin, mediums for Ryder Dow, softs for Owen White, the mediums for J. Cole Khalifa, the Mater Konzo, Fedbas Lakitu, Robin West, Henry, Nick and Samba, and the softs are for Tom Robbo and Chalkers. That could be a crucial decision in Tom Robbo's title hunt. We line up on the grid here in Montreal. This might be the most crucial race start of the season so far. Samba lines us up on the grid alongside the stand to the right hand side with some many flags of support for the drivers. It's got a lot duller there. 3, 4, 5 red lights. We go racing in Canada, and look at that for a launch for XL Larkin out of anyone. He's got a bit of a run. Ryder Dow really struggling off the line. Owen Wyatt piles into turn 1. Look at Tom Robbo. Tom Robbo is up to 5th position in this Grand Prix. Round the outside of Khalifa. He's going to go up the inside of Owen Wyatt as well, possibly. Down the inside. That's a crucial move for Tom Robbo, but he's backed out because he does not want to end up like Lewis Hamilton was in 2019, just avoiding the car in front. Owen Wyatt needs to lead leave space on the outside. He knows there's a championship on the line here in Montreal. It was a fantastic race start for Larkin, but when he got up to second gear, he just didn't seem to get the getaway. He's now under a lot of pressure from our medium runner of Ryder Dahl. Tom Robbo up 4 spots and Samba up 4 spots already. They are your 2 highest gainers here on lap number 1. Tom Robbo goes down the inside of the Aston Martin, and Owen Wyatt has played him absolutely there. He sent them to the shops, and he's got the switch back. Tom Robbo burning a lot of ERS. He wants to get this job done. He knows Owen Wyatt is a tricky man to overtake. You can catch up to someone, but it's very difficult to overtake them. Tom Robbo is up to 4th. He's less than 10% ERS. He's used it all on lap number 1. Owen Wyatt now is down to 5th position. Montana leads the Canadian Grand Prix, the ERT Montreal Grand Prix to be precise. On to lap number 2. That was a hectic lap 1 for Tom Robbo, and I'm sure if we had a heart rate monitor in that Williams, it would be exceeding 120 easily.
Yeah, he had to do that though. He had to get them places on those soft tyres, and you had to get the grip. And yeah, I think with that Owen Wyatt move, we did that dive because he thought, yeah, Owen might get switched back, but Tom Robbo thought he'd get the better acceleration. You've got side-by-side idea between Henry and Robin West going to banging wheels, and Henry gets the move done up into 13th place. They're the Likitu, sorry, but yeah, I think Tom
here comes Samba,
really
the inside of Fetpass. Samba's gained even more spots than Tom Robbo. He's gained 6, but he's had a bit of a scrape off the wall there. Fetpass could be attacking back here, the Ferrari man. He's behind the Honda-powered Red Bull racing machine, and now Samba is up into the top 10. Took an engine penalty, of course. That is why he's so far back. It wasn't a poor qualifying for him like it was for Tom Robbo. Tom Robbo, though, is working his way back up. Montana leads by almost 2 seconds. Ryder Dahl is pressuring Larkin. Larkin's not had the best getaway of all time. Chalkers had to make an early pit stop. He got damage, and to be fair, that's the story of his season, because unfortunately Chalkers is always wrapped up in something, whether it's his own fault or somebody else's. He's just always involved. Chalkers, of course, in Monza, he was leading the race for good, but he had exceptional pace in Monza, but then had a crash in Ascari and ended proceedings in the Italian town. But Tom Robbo is now pressuring Ryder Dahl. Tom Robbo started on the quicker tyres. We'll get the tyres back on screen for you now, folks. There is the tyres. It is softs for everybody in the top 5 apart from Ryder Dahl. So Ryder Dahl will struggle really here at the start to keep. But I have to say, he's doing a good job behind Larkin so far.
Yeah, Larkin sort of is one a bit of a train, I think. Obviously, Montana 2 second half. We mentioned obviously last week Chalkers should have won last week, but that
should have won last week.
Yeah, mentioned Montana last week was a bit sketchy, but we had an interesting setup last week. But this week it's back to the same old routine because 2 second lead after 3 laps. He's just showing his complete dominance so far. Ryder Dahl was actually looking very threatening back Larkin. I think Larkin maybe ran a bit of wet sup in qualifying, get us a bit high up on the grid. I think he may be paying for it in the race.
If Ryder Dahl had this pace all season, he would also be in this championship battle, because he's been so impressive recently, as Ryder Dahl. Tom Robbo, though, needs to get this job done behind him. He needs to make the move.
Yeah, it's almost a 4-second gap to the lead already, and he needs to beat Montana, so he cannot afford that gap go any bigger, because Montana is in that window where he can cover off. He can go a lap longer. It's very powerful around it. It can be around well over 2-3 seconds, but Montana's in that position where he can just go as long as he wants. He can just dictate strategy, and Tom Robbo's in this traffic, and he's in the DRS train now. The overtaking, it's not going to be easy.
Nikito sent one around the outside of Robin West. Somehow managed to half make the corner. Samba's chucked one up the inside, or Konzo's chucked one up the inside of Samba. Apologies. Samba, though, he's up to 9th, so he's got the job done, but I don't really know what happened in that battle, because it looked like it was Konzo going for the move. It was Samba, and now Ryder Dahl is right behind Larkin, and the man on the mediums, the Alfa Romeo, is in superb form. Is he going to go for it down towards turn number 1? No, backs off, and that is not to the delight of Tom Robbo. Because
I think, to be fair, I think the mediums will be better now. I think the softs starting to die off, and I think the
softs die off really easily here.
Yeah, I noticed that in my race tonight, and they died off about 3. I went 2 push-ups fast lap, and as soon as I did that, they started to die off. So it's got a yellow flag. And is that Chalkers again? He's pitted again. No, it isn't. It's Nick, I believe.
Oh, it's Nick round.
Turn 3, I think. Yeah, Nick's got it.
Unfortunate there for Nick.
Yeah.
That's he's had a bit of an up and down season, as Nick.
Yeah, this battle of midfield's very close. A lot of scraping of Samba's first guy to pick up a penalty. And Ryder Dow surely gets moved on and larking down the straight. Surely
yeah, Ryder Dow's going to have DRS. He's going to have a bit of slipstream. The only thing that's causing him to not make this move is that exit out of that hairpin. The turn number 13 hairpin, but he's got it done here on Ryder. He is Ryder Dow. He's got it done here on Larkin. The Alfa Romeo is now up to second, and Larkin, oh, he's butchered the chicane a bit. He's going to lose two here in two corners because Tom Robbo is going to have that. He's going to eat that one up like a delicious steak dinner. That was a really nice invitation for Tom Robbo to get that move done. Larkin now down to fourth under pressure from Owen Wyatt behind, and I'm no mind reader, but I think he might lose this one too.
Yeah, Larkin's really struggling, and obviously with the nature of Montreal, you only get one DRS detection zone, so if you get past that first DRS zone, you have a pure exit like Larkin did out the chicane, and you're going to be vulnerable, I'm afraid, and it's costing 2 places there. But that's what Tom Rubble now needs to get past Rydell, because look at that, Rydell's 4 seconds behind Montana. This is a huge lead, and Montana, I think Tom Rubble needs a safety car as it is, but when the safety cars come out, it's going to get double stacked. So Montana, he's in a great position at the moment. He can just dictate it, these guys are all scrapping, and Montana seems to be in a different formula at the moment with the lead he's got.
That's a brilliant way to describe it. He's literally driving a different class of car. Ryder Dahl. I can't lie, Tom Robbo was the one breaking the slipstream there, which puzzled me, but Tom Robbo is going to get this one done down towards turn number 1, and it is now that traditional Williams 1-2 that we've seen all season. Ryder Dahl knows he's not in this race with Tom Robbo. Ryder Dahl is going to be aiming for P3 in this, because he definitely has pace over everybody else if he can. Just took into Tom Robbo's DRS, just hang with him like he did last week in Monza, and that ended up well for the young Alfa Romeo.
Samba inside of J. Cole here.
Oh, here we go, Samba. The man on the move, as well as Tom Robbo. Oh, he scores! Oh, he's in the wall! And that's Samba round. That's J. Cole in the wall. And there is a lot of damage there. Robin West picking up damage as well. And the safety car's out. The safety car is out. The Alpha Tauri's gone spinning. And unquestionably so, the full course caution has been brought out. And now, let's just think about Montana's lead here. And we are going to wave that goodbye because we are now under safety car conditions.
Yeah, now, will Tom Rubble get... Do you know about this double stack here?
Yeah, that's what... This has actually worked out for the man behind him, because it's his teammate, and he's not going to be held up. Montana's in, understandably so. What's Ryder Dahl going to do? Ryder Dahl's going to pit as well. Of course, you do have to make 2 stops.
It's no-brainer to pit, I think.
There's a bit more flexibility there for the Alfa Romeo crew, and we will see here what Tom Robbo's pit stop's like. It's mediums from Montana. Oh, it's a penalty for Samba. What about Tom Robbo? He is... Oh, he's lost a few tenths there. Could be under pressure from Ryder Dahl behind. Oh, he's under pressure from Larkin, actually. And, yep, Ryder Dahl's got out in front.
Yep. Yeah, I knew that. I could see that happening. It could have been worse for him, though. It could have been worse for him. I think he'll take that.
Yeah, could have come out behind Larkin as well. Very close there.
Yeah, so hopefully these guys are all on the medium tyres now, I believe.
There's a bit of a shuffle in the pack, and this gives Chalkers a chance to catch up as well, so we'll get a bit of Chalkers action.
I think Chalkers should come in now, get rid of them hard tyres and go on another set of mediums, and then be back in the race, because he was about to get lapped. He was not too far off being lapped, because he had to pitch twice for wing damage, and yeah,
Chalkers has actually made 3 stops.
Well, yeah. See, the Jensen Button here 1 year, I think, made 6 stops to win, so we might be getting that again. I don't think he'll win the race, but he might be getting close to that record as he comes.
He hasn't pit.
Oh, yeah,
to be fair,
hard tires.
I think if he pit, he would have genuinely been under threat to be lapped.
Yeah, so give himself a bit more leeway on the train. And then
he is, again. We might be out for a few laps here with this safety car because he's a good bit behind. But I like Chalkers, really, really sound bloke, and I'd love to see him do well because he's very unlucky at the best of times. Monza, it was his fault that he crashed, but still, he had amazing pace, and it was the only mistake he made all day. Everything else was picture perfect. But yeah, everybody has now made at least 1 stop. Tom Roberts pit again.
Did he pick up damage?
Hello.
Is he going to the? Or is he pitting for for medium to try and get to the end of the race. No, this is...
Is he serving as 2 stops to try and go to the end of the race?
Yeah, maybe, but that's very bold strategy on Canada. That's not going to work in Canada, I don't think.
I have no idea what he has did there.
He's got no damage.
He didn't get damage because we have that beside us here. Just if you're unsure, me and Jamie, we get to see who gets damage. We get to see a percentage of it, like we can say Chalkers at the start of the race. Or sorry, Robin got 0 to 100 damage in that crash where we seen the AlphaTauri spinning, but we've got no notification of Tom getting damage.
Nope. No penalties. No penalties.
And if he had a pit for softs, I would have been like, okay, like fair enough. He just wants to be on a quicker tyre again. But he's pit for the exact same compound.
He's jumped to the back of the field, so the field.
To be fair, that's a really bold. That's a really bold strategy around Canada because Canada has walls very close to the track, and if you put 16 league racers on a track with walls, you'll probably get some of them hitting them.
Yeah, let's not forget these guys all similar. They all like the same length of tyres. They've not got a massive tyre advantage either. It's just that's very peculiar. That's right.
Yeah, I don't get that really. Chalkers has joined us once again. If you're wondering what Chalkers' strategy is, he started on the softs, he pit for hards, he pit for mediums, and he pit for more hards. We're on lap 9. So he definitely will have to pit again at some point, I'd say. Because these hards will just be awful towards the end of the race. And
he's gone early. Montana's gone early.
Montana's gone early. We weren't even focusing on the Williams. We go racing in Canada, and Montana thought he might have Tom Robbo behind him. Tom Robbo's down at 15th because he's made a really bold strategy call. We go racing down towards turn number 1. Henry is up to 6th now, so that's really worked out for him because he was at the back. That major crash gained a few people a couple of spots. Konzo's up there as well, so is Fetpass, but nobody really making any moves on lap number 1. Tom Robbo is actually falling off the back of Robin a bit. I thought he would have been very optimistic, but he needs to, I don't know, turn into Ayrton Senna maybe.
Chalkers had a run on him into turn 1. Chalkers maybe could have gone for it in turn 1 but backed out of it. So yeah, Tom Robbo played it very safe on the restart.
And look at that lead, 1.2 seconds already from Montana. The man's on another level.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a car off there. I believe that's Owen White took a ride over the curbs and
and there goes Owen White's lost 2 spots.
Rejoined to his teammate.
Oh, White's teammate shoving him off the circuit almost, and he's now under pressure from Konzo. That's now the 2 ERT men of Khalifa and Henry who have got the moves done. And I have to say, we were saying Montana was on another level. Ryder Dahl's got a 10th back on him, so fair play to you, Ryder Dahl. That's it's good to just stay with him for some amount of time because Montana is just on a different level to everybody today. He's the grit between his teeth from last week.
Henry picks up a time penalty, so there's Konzo, I believe. So these penalties aren't rack up, and we'll see a lot more as these drivers attack these curbs a lot more later in the race.
Konzo actually has 4 warnings already, so he's definitely not on a good rate of warnings. J. Cole picked up at 3 seconds as well. Tom Robbo still has not made an overtake. He still hasn't actually gained any time on Robin West yet. This has not worked for Tom Robbo.
The problem he's got is that Lakitu and Nick Head, they're on the soft tyres and they'll be the quicker tyre at the moment, so if he gets by Robin, he's going to struggle to get by Lakitu and Nick, and he's in the DRS train and he's 8 seconds behind the lead already. So, and around here, how short the pit lane is, that's like a hard, that's another 8 seconds added onto that, and he'd be a pit stop behind Montana already. So that strategy is not working out for him. Look at that try to get ahead of him. It's like a rush hour. It's not working out well for him.
And another thing is for Tom Robbo. Montana has got a 3-second time penalty. He's not immortal, folks. He actually is human. And he set the fastest lap while doing so. But the thing about Tom Robbo is, the man in front of him, Lakitu, you might be thinking Lakitu's have been at the back all season. Lakitu won a lot of races last season, yes, in the Pinnacle tier. Tom Robbo raced that as well, as Robin West now is actually attacking Lakitu, so life gets worse for Tom Robbo, because these are going side by side, down into the middle sector, and Robin West tries round the outside. That is an excellent move for the AlphaTauri man. Really great racing, and Tom Robbo capitalises round the outside of Lakitu. Tom Robbo's up to 14th, Robin West is up to 13th, and Robin West, who was on this very straight, spinning around about 6 or 7 times, he's got the job done on Lakitu. Really good racing for Robin. He's nothing to play for in the championship, so he is going big and bold.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that was a very aggressive move. Tom Robbo crucially, you have to get through, and yeah, these softs, they started going for already. I don't know, it seems to be, these softs do not last that long around Canada, and Tom Robbo, is Robin West out of DRS? Yes, he is. Tom Robbo may fancy opportunity here. No, Robin West is in DRS, so there's just enough gap there, and there's Tom Robbo, I think he might have to go for a sending turn one, because look, you can see them guys ahead pulling away.
This isn't something I expected. The Matter was attacking J. Cole, but now Samba is attacking, and Tom Robbo has got past Robin West, but Samba's down the inside of the Manor, and the Manor was attacking J. Cole a moment ago, but he had a terrible run through the final chicane of 13 and 14, and now the Manor is down to 11, still in the points. It's top 12 for points here in One Hub. But Tom Robbo, I thought he would have gained a lot more, but he needs to push to get in the DRS of Nick now. I think he will easily do it, because Nick is stuck behind the Matter. But yeah, this is going to be easier said than done.
Yeah, Robin, that previous up there, that absolute mess of the final chicane. He hit the curve far too aggressively, and that underseed him almost into the wall, so he had to back out of it. That allowed Tom Robbo to get through, and he picks up time penalty for his troubles. And Tom Robbo is in the DRS of Nick, but now he's in a DRS train. He's got J. Cole and Samba going side by side.
Samba is risking a lot more than Tom Robbo is, and I mean, that's kind of understandable, but Samba is in a battle of his own. Samba and Henry are tied on points for fourth. With no legend tonight, they can get back within touching distance. Owen Wyatt picks up a 3-second time penalty. He is in 6th spot behind his teammate, and he's not doing too shabby. Fastest lap of the race goes to Sam, but fastest lap of the race goes to Tom Robbo. So there we go. Just want to note on something. Look at Ryder Dahl, 2.3 he's gapped Larkin by.
Yeah, Ryder Dahl, you're getting some really good pace and looking good for back-to-back podiums. You have to say he's sort of been no man's land in between Montana and the guys behind. He's sort of he's just doing his own thing, and it's working out well for him. As Khalifa, Khalifa maybe fancies a run at Larkin. I think Larkin just doesn't seem to have the race pace as other guys, and yeah, Khalifa's got a good run through here. I wonder if Khalifa may fancy an overtake, as they're both quite low on batteries, so they've used their battery to really attack and drain each other. Larkin seems like
send from is that Fetbass? That is Fetbass up the inside of Conzo. The Ferrari man he's tried to attack 4-7, but it has not worked. The AlphaTauri man has read that one. It was a bit of a send for Fetbass, but this is all backlogging towards the man fighting for the championship, Tom Robbo, who's now side by side with Nick. And Fetbass, is he going to chuck it up? I thought he was going to chuck it up the inside into the chicane. That would be a bold move. Henry's got a run on Larkin here. Khalifa's unleashed himself behind Larkin. Henry is unleashed himself behind Larkin, and unfortunately this Alpine does not have the same pace in the dry as it did in the wet.
No, and he got done over by DRS again there, because obviously Khalifa got by the first DRS straight because there's only one detection zone, and you're vulnerable in the second, and yeah, just that's an unfortunate situation. DRS on Canada, the only one detection zone, and if you don't get it in the first zone, you sit and duck in the two braking zones. As Tom Robbo gets by Nick, and he's on the back of Matta. He has a bit of a moment there, almost lose it, but keeps it very well. And I have to say, the gap still stayed 8 seconds to leader, so he's making good progress, but he's going to lose a bit more time fighting these guys, I think.
Yeah, I think he will. He's had fairly straightforward moves, but I think he needs to get a little bit more creative as he goes up the grid. He's going to send it down the inside of the Matter now. That's a really tidy move, because the Matter he's gone well offline, and he's now in the threat from Nick behind the man doing his 85th race in Season 4. And Nick said to me today, he goes, you could probably add another 40 to that, so he definitely has did over 100 races, over 120 races easily, as Nick, the easily most experienced driver, and that might be due to the fact he owns the league. Henry up the inside of Khalifa, that's onto the podium for Henry, and I have to say, these two scrapping gives Ryder Dahl an even more impressive route to pull another bit of a gap. But Khalifa loses out there. Henry just has the pace. Samba is now attacking Owen Wyatt. I have to say, I wouldn't rule out Samba off for the race win here. He has been extremely quick today.
Yeah, it's been ultra. He started back on the grid as well with his entry penalty. He's been ultra aggressive, which you have to be on Canada, because obviously it's such a tight track, and he's got his elbows out, and he may be at fault for an incident with Jacob, course safety car. I think he may have been stewards for that, but you have to say he's showing his good pace at the moment, and Tom Robbo's now stuck in this train. He's going to lose even more time, so the keeper picks up penalty as Larkin and Owen look pretty close together, but Larkin I think's just got DRS, so he may be able to hold it, but Owen got a really good exit there. But I think Larkin is going to use a bit of his battery to defend.
Yeah. Tom Robbo needs to get creative because he's now stuck in a DRS train. He needs to get creative.
It's really difficult for him because these guys, they've all got similar pace, they're all dragging each other along, and there's not really many overtaking points outside the DRS zone.
Oh, why a big move up the inside of Larkin, it hasn't worked. And that was a big set, but that allows Samba to get a little bit of a cut in. He's got Stone Wyatt. Really good stuff for Samba. He moves up to 6th position now. That has not worked out for Owen Watt at all.
No, he's forced out wide there, and he's on the dirty stuff, and that allows Samba to take tighter line and get through. Now Samba may fancy move on Larkin. I think Larkin is just about in DRS of the car ahead. Yes, he is. So he's just about hanging on the coattails of Khalifa, but these ERT boys, they're all around Larkin, and going to make his life pretty uncomfortable as Conza picks up another penalty. These penalties starting to rack up now big time as Tom Robbo is still behind J. Cole.
J. Cole is like, he's pressuring Fedpass into a move here, and that's an issue for Tom Robbo because if he could just have like 20 Nikita Mazepins and that awful Haas in front of him that he could just nip in and out of, he'd love that, but that's probably he's cursing the qualifying system because the qualifying system is amazing and it tiers 20 drivers a very similar pace together.
Yeah, it's Owen Wyatt's in, so he's in for an early pit stop.
He's not been doing well on this set of tyres.
So we've got what probably inside of J. Cole for 9th
Here he
place,
goes.
gets the move done.
He gets the move done, and I think some of these drivers, like J. Cole and stuff, do understand the circumstances in the championship, and they are yielding a little bit. Normally you'd see someone, I'm going to cut across here because I still want the position, but they've all been very well behaved when it comes to our championship leaders. Well, it's not like they've had to defend from Montana because he's been absolutely clear for that entire race and is currently on for a Grand Chelem.
Yeah, even with the penalties, but he's got this gap well more than covered, and Rydell's only hope, I think, is for a late safety car thing. But he's on 2-1 himself, and he's got to be careful. He may pick up a penalty as Montana's on the 4 warnings now. So yeah, these guys, they're pushing really hard as we've got someone locked to brakes up. I think as Khalifa has a bit of a moment there.
Khalifa's a big moment there. Samba now chucks it up the inside of Nathan. Samba, the man with the engine penalty, is up to 4th spot in this race. He's doing a mighty job, and of course he has that DRS that you've been talking about. He will have it for the next straight as well because there is only one activation zone. As Tom Robbo has got past Vetpass on the straight. He's got that job done, the Williamsman, and now he's pressuring Conzo, and this might be an easier move because Conzo doesn't have DRS himself. And he's going to get it into one here, Tom Robbo. It's going to be a send for the Williamsman down the inside of Conzo. That's a great move for Tom Robbo. Conzo. Oh, he's kept it up the inside and he's been sent round. Oh, that's not good for Conzo. He's been sent round and he kept it up the inside. He wanted to stick with Tom Robbo and stick it to him, but it did not work. And Samba has picked up, I believe, his 2nd penalty of the day.
Yeah, so he may have good pace, but he's just going to jump down the ordinary penalties.
According to my screen, he only has 5 warnings, so that's interesting because you need 6 for a 2nd penalty.
Yeah, as Henry gets.
Oh, Samba has 11 seconds. Oh, Samba's almost spun. It was almost a horrid lap for Samba. Of course, Samba did speed in the pit lane, so he has that 5-second time penalty. From that, Henry has caught up to Ryder Dow here.
Yeah, Henry's showing good pace yet again, you have to say, starting back from grid. I think if he qualified, he may be threatening Montana to win, but he's looking good here. Ryder Dow, though, he's okay at the moment because Henry hasn't got much battery left, so
I think he might struggle because Henry, of course, will get the DRS, and we'll see what the Aston Martin can do here on the Alfa Romeo Sauber. Ooh, good straight line speed for Ryder Dow. You know, he's too far back. He is definitely too far back, but Henry does have the pace on the Alfa Romeo here. Henry, of course, is an exceptional driver fighting for 3rd in the title because he's level on points with Samba and not too far behind Legend. Legend is not here tonight.
Yeah, that'll be tight. That'll be a really good battle to keep an eye out for next week if the championship's done, which looks like it at the moment. But we may still have a good battle for 3rd place. Is right down. Yeah, there's straight line speed. Even with DRS, it doesn't. I think Henry's just gonna have to. Henry looks a lot more confident under braking, but the straight line speed, right down. Henry may just have to do a send up in the hairpin here to get the move done, because he will have DRS if he doesn't get it done, and no, he backs out of it. Right down, one's a little bit deep, he's feeling the pressure, I think. Can Henry get a good exit here? Yes, he does, and he's going to use a bit of battery. You have to use a bit of battery to get through, I think, because it's like on pure straight line speed. Right down has it covered, but Henry's got a run here.
Yeah, he's got the run.
Inside.
He's got the run. Henry up the inside into the chicane, and Ryder Dahl Lifts off before the braking zone. Clever from Ryder. He's in a great spot and doesn't want to risk his front wing here by keeping it around the outside. Tom Robbo is now 4/10 behind Larkin. He's not cutting through the pack as quickly as he would like, but if he can somehow get these tyres to the end of the race, he does not have to make another pit stop where everybody else does. Maybe, I kind of think I figured out what he's trying to do. If you're a fan of us here in the Pinnacle tier, you will have noticed we get a lot of late safety cars. I think he could just be waiting and hoping that he's in the lead of the race when a late safety car comes out and he can pit for fresh softs.
Yeah.
There's Lakitu since the fastest lap of the race. I can't lie, was not expecting that. And there's some at the back. Owen, Wyatt, Nick and Lakitu and Konzo have all made their second pit stop, as well as Tom Robbo, obviously, but he made his earlier. He's in a completely different boat to them. They can easily make the end of the race. Well, Konzo might struggle, but the medium guys of Owen, Wyatt, Nick and Lakitu, they can definitely go to the end of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think Konzo's going to be hoping for safety car as well. I think with them soft tyres, they'll be very much second hand when it comes in the race, but obviously they are fresh softs because they didn't use them in qualifying, so that might help. But I think soft tyres last about 10-11 laps, I think.
Yeah, I think it was only about that. He could stretch it, maybe, if he fancies a little bit of drifting. It's a good solution, but if he fancies getting a good result, I wouldn't really go for it.
Jay Cole beside the Fetbass here in turn 1.
Fetbass hangs it up the inside. We see one Italian car spin there, but Vetbass has got the traction into turn number 4. Oh, he's lost it. Oh, he somehow kept this car there, and J. Cole is now struggling as the Matter is trying to go around the outside of Vetbass. Here comes the Matter around the outside. Oh, what a move from Matter. But Vetbass has spun, but I have to still hand it to the Matter there, because that was a terrific overtake. Well, I don't know if he made contact with Fetbass. If he did, maybe it wasn't that terrific, but I have to hand it to the Matter. He risked it there.
Yeah, I didn't see.
Oh, here comes Tom Robbo round the outside of Larkin. Tom Robbo's trying to make a move on XL Larkin because Larkin is tucked right up behind Khalifa. If he can get past Larkin here, he may have a shot at Khalifa, but Larkin just has brilliant straight line speed, and he's regenning now, meaning he did have a bit of battery in the tank. Don't send it there, Tom. You're cleverer than that. He's picked up a penalty. He's picked up a penalty.
Yeah, that's going to cost him any chance of maybe trying.
Oh, here goes Larkin. He's going around the outside of Khalifa. Tom Robbo's going to go around the outside of Khalifa as well. No, backs out. He's playing a clever game here. He's still going to chuck up the inside of the Mercedes-man, possibly, as they almost make contact. That was a risky move for the man fighting just to keep his championship alive. He's chucked it up the inside, and Khalifa... Oh, I think Khalifa just yielded there for the sake of not having an angry Briton shout at him later.
Yeah, I think Khalifa knew then if he stuck it up there, then they'd have been in contact. They both would have been out of the race probably. So I think that was wise from Khalifa to back out. And we're not seeing this aggression for Tom Robbo all season. Tom Robbo's been Mr. Patience, but he needs to win the race.
To be fair, the two races that he has been aggressive in is this one and Brazil, and he won from the back in Brazil. So
yeah,
maybe that's a lesson for next season. Is that Tom, you do have talent and you can overtake. Use it. Gonna get a bit of a... You could get a run Larkin. Montana's in. Montana's in for a second pit stop of the day. What tyres is going to be to the end? I imagine it's going to be the softs.
Yeah.
As Henry leads the Grand Prix now. Tom Roberts going to get a jump on Larkin here as well. One Williamsman is in the pit lane. The other Williamsman goes down the inside of XL Larkin, and Larkin is going to have to yield that one because Tom Robbo is definitely the quicker man there. Yeah, it's mediums for Montana. He's going to come out, possibly, he's going to come out in front of Owen Wyatt, just behind the Matter.
Now what's the gap between Montana and Tom? It is...
The gap between
around
them?
6.5 seconds, I believe.
That's not a lot.
No, because Montana will be a lot quicker on these fresh tyres.
And of course everybody else around Montana does have to pit, where Tom Robbo did have to pass them or he would have been stuck behind them.
Yeah, so he's hoping, he's goal hanging for a safety car, I think, and if the safety car comes out around now, it'd be great for him. If it comes out,
it would be.
Yeah. Look how quick Montana is. Look, he's so much quicker than
he's gone up the inside of the Matter, and that's going to possibly be the easiest move in his career.
And Robin has down the straight, get Robin surely. You've got to be wary these guys pit, because obviously the pit lane around here is...
Ryderdale's in.
Yep. So Henry's to the lead.
Larkin is in as well, and so is Robin, and now look who Montana's behind. He is going to shoot back up and is now behind his teammate.
Only 5 seconds, so that should be pretty simple, I think.
Best of luck, Tom. You need it.
Yeah.
Samba's picked up another penalty, meaning Samba will possibly be passed by Conzo, who's at the back by the end of this race because he has so many penalties. And fair play to Chalkers, who's now up to 6th on 20 lap old hards.
Yeah. You can go to the end of them, or is he going to come in and maybe go for a cheeky fast lap attempt on the softs? No.
I was going to say that he had, well, he definitely doesn't have the pit to do his mandatory stop because he's made 3 of them already in this race. He made 3 of them by lap 9 actually, which goes to show. But, Ryder Dahl now picks up a penalty, meaning XL Larkin, the man literally in the middle of... Oh, no, never mind, he's just picked up a penalty, meaning we all have penalties.
Yeah, you put the proper curse on in there.
Sorry, Larkin.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's possibly the best timing ever. Oh, well, we have 16 drivers with penalties, and that really goes to show what this Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is like on this game. The track limits are mental. Montana sets a new PB by 4/10 of a second. It's not the fastest lap. The fastest lap belongs to Owen Wyatt, actually. He's the fastest lap. He's the man behind him.
Yeah, Owen Wyatt's got some really good pace, I have to say. He may be fancying the podium. He had a podium, obviously, after the stewards in Brazil. He may fancy a podium on track tonight, as Samba and Henry are both yet to pit, and well, these guys should come in. They're definitely going to softs, so I think they should.
Oh yeah, they can definitely go to softs. I think like Montana possibly could have gone to softs, but he didn't want to risk it, and I don't blame him because as right now, he will possibly win the championship because Tom Robbo is literally there in front of him at the hairpin.
As Ryder Dow's is overtaking Chalkers there for 6th place. Not a huge surprise with fresh softs versus old hards. And
I have to say, Chalkers broke a lot later than him. Ryder Dow very
confident.
cautious into the hairpin. As the front 2 pit, meaning it is now a Williams 1-2 again. The only difference is this is a battle. This is not just 2 Williamses sauntering around. This is a scrap for a world championship.
The only problem is Montana is 2 seconds lap quicker than Tom Robbo's. How much can Tom Robbo really fight this? That's the question. He may be able to hold on for a lap, maybe, but I think
Montana might have DRS at the end of this lap.
Yeah, he's very close to getting DRS there. Actually, not too far from getting DRS in that section. So, but yeah, a bit of back. Yeah, this is going to be pretty inevitable, I think.
I'm not saying he's the type of guy to do this, but I think the best thing for Tom Robbo to win the championship as it stands is, well, Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost did in Japan all those years ago.
I don't think the stewards will see.
I don't think the stewards would like what I've just said, and I don't like what I've just said, because...
Look how much later Montana was under braking.
To be fair, Montana did brake a little bit too late there, that was a bit extreme.
Yeah.
But he has a run on his teammate now, and this could really be the nail in an unfortunate coffin for Tom Robbo's championship hopes, because there goes his teammate down the inside, and with no problems whatsoever, Montana leads the Canadian Grand Prix and the Drivers' World Championship, and Ryder Dahl is back onto the podium, and Montana gets the fastest lap in the process. Tom Robbo now just, I suppose, holds on to second, but that would be it. That would be curtains. It'll be Montana's championship once he wins the race.
I think Ryder Dahl will get Tom Robbo. I think he may be under pressure from.
I think he will be.
Tom Robbo needs a safety car now. He needs a safety car
literally now, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, Ryder Dahl and Henry wouldn't pit. He'd be stuck.
Yeah, they have to overtake. So yeah.
Robin West out. I thought we might have got a safety car, but it's in the pit lane.
Yeah. The first DNF on lap 28, though. That's pretty good going.
That's pretty impressive, guys. Well done.
Yeah.
They can't hear me. Don't ever hear me say that. But well done, lads.
Tom Robbo's still in DRS, I think. But
we'll see now. We're looking back on the Williams rear wing. Does it open? No, it doesn't.
No, not quite. No, I thought he had it, but no.
So that, I think...
Time to pull away even further.
I think that could be curtains, folks. I think we might have had a championship decided, and unfortunately the championship has been decided due to a lot of bad luck as Henry shoots past Ryder Dahl. So Henry's on a bit of a charge now to get up to Tom Robbo. He sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, he's got some good pace, and these guys I think will catch Tom Robbo before the end of the race.
Sambas has the fastest lap as well.
Yeah, maybe he's going side by side with his teammate Chalkers. Chalkers, I think, is going to let him through. Yeah, that's sensible for the Red Bull team there to allow Samba through.
The thing here is, if Montana, which he won't, because he's been extremely on it all day, if he was to crash now, we might have had the championship separated by 2 points heading into Portugal. A man can dream, but, unfortunately, as it stands, it's going to be absolutely wrapped up, and the championship heading into Portugal will be 25 points, which is too much.
I think Montana's driving at 80%, if that, at the moment. I don't think he's pushing at all. He's in a zone at the moment. He knows this is pretty much guaranteed.
He's not had a non-finish all season. As Conzo's out. Conzo is out. This could be the change. Oh, I thought the safety car was out there. This could be the big change in this Grand Prix. The safety car, the virtual safety car's out. Is it going to get upgraded to the full safety car? Tom Robbo needs it to.
Nick's in.
Nick's dived in. Fair play, Nick. That's a good call, whether it's VSC or full safety car. I think we're just going to stay at VSC.
Yeah, upgraded by now, I'm pretty sure of it.
Unless it's extremely late, but I don't think it will be. I think Tom Robbo has just had more bad luck.
Yeah. Well, he has, but it also... The only problem is VSC and these old mediums, it's going to take forever for him to warm them up, so it may... Obviously, it may allow Henry and Nissan to catch even further, so maybe double bad luck for him.
That's awful luck. And we have both AlphaTauris being the two retirements of the Canadian Grand Prix. Not a good day for the Italians side.
No.
And we're definitely staying at VSC. So unless there's another retirement in the next 2 laps, it will be a Montana Championship. Well, it might be a Montana Championship anyways, but Tom Robbo would have a chance at least. He's no chance now. He's on dead tyres.
Yeah, he's way off the pace.
In this Pinnacle tier, we have a little bit of a thing for classic race endings. So this one's not over just yet, because Vetbas is side by side with Lakitu, so there's still battles for the lower order, which is great to see. These guys definitely not giving up. Mightn't have anything to fight for in terms of a championship, but they definitely have their pride to fight for. Samba is right behind Owen Wyatt, and I think this move will be fairly straightforward once we get to a DRS zone, because he is definitely a lot quicker than Owen Wyatt. As Chalkers picks up his 3-second time penalty, Chalkers is just going to keep losing spots because he is on 26-lap-old hard compound tyres.
If I was Owen, I wouldn't fight this too much, because look at the penalties Samba's got.
Yeah, exactly. Just let Samba go into the lead of the race. He still wouldn't win it.
Yeah, get his place back at the end of the race, unless Samba does some absolutely incredible laps at the end, and Samba is going to wait for DRS. I think that's a be the wise strategy. Yes, he's going to wait for DRS. As Conzo leaves the session, he had a good race, but I think that instant with Tom Robbo really killed it for him. As Samba,
I think so. Samba's easily got this one.
Easiest pass of the day here. Yeah, easiest pass of the day here.
And there he goes, flies past Owen Wyatt. And he's up to 5th spot, but Owen Wyatt is still going to get that spot back via penalties, because I don't think any amount of pace would be able to pull that. And now Montana leads by 5 seconds. And this is possibly the last lap for a safety car. Although we broke the game last week, so we might do it again.
Look at how close Henry and Rydell
Here comes Lakitu past the Matter. Lakitu's on all tyres as well, so this is not a bad job for Lakitu. He's got past the Matter now, down the inside. The Matter's giving it a good go all the same around the outside. He's fallen around the outside, and I have to say, fair play to the Matter. Fair play. Because he's really good defensive job there. The Matter, the position might not count for anything, but he's had a good race in terms of his moves.
Yeah.
And look at this, the day's going to get worse for Tom Robbo, because he's going to fall off the podium.
Yeah, look how much more confidence Henry has on the brake. It's almost hitting the back of Williams. This would be an easy pass here, and
he's going to lose it to Rydell as well.
Yeah, Rydell may... I think he's too far back for Rydell for turn 1, but he'll get him next lap as Henry... Tom Robbo's actually got pretty decent line speed there. Tom Robbo is defending this, but...
Oh, he's in the back of him!
Henry! Oh.
He's in the back of him.
Wow.
He's got damage. Henry is damage. He's picked up damage from that. It's just come up on that telemetry system. He's picked up damage. Rydell will get the job done here on Henry sooner rather than later, I feel. Oh, that's awful luck for Henry. The luck today for anyone other than Montana has been terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at Henry struggling through the corners. Ryder Dahl has this one sorted. Ryder Dahl is going to pick up 2 P2s in the base of 2 weeks if he can work his way past Henry here with success. This gives Tom Robbo a bit of time. Yeah, he's got the switchback done, and Samba is going to get past Henry on track, I think, but I feel Henry will still be able to keep in with that massive penalty window of Samba. Ryder Dahl, though, is going to get DRS on Tom Robbo, and Ryder Dahl is going to have a brilliant time this evening in Montreal because he's going to take P2 possibly. Bearing in mind he might still bottle it, but I hope not because he's drove really well, and Samba flies past Henry, and I think Owen Wyatt might catch Henry as well because that damage has really messed up proceedings for Henry, and we can't separate these Aston Martin teammates because they've been together all season.
Yeah, they have.
Now the penultimate lap of the race.
Henry's definitely had more. He's definitely take advantage more of his pace because he definitely had the better results, but the pace level is very close. And Owen White, you know, I think he may just fall short of the podium. But
that's the matter. Who's completely obliterated the chicane there, and I feel he might have to let Fett pass back through. Unless it was Fetbass who hit him off, but oh god no, we're cutting off that. That's not very good from Fetbass. We're going to cut off that fairly quickly, and that's the matter out of the race.
Promotes Nick into the points, and Lakitu's coming again. Lakitu's going for a fast lap. We've seen his lot from Lakitu go for a cheeky fast lap.
Oh, bit of DRS toying here between Tom Robbo and Ryder Dahl, but Ryder Dahl's a clever man. It's from Samba down the inside. He's chucked Tom Robbo off the circuit, and Tom Robbo is around, and Tom Robbo is going to lose this championship. It has all gone wrong. Ryder Dahl will still end up in second because I have no idea what the Red Bull was thinking into that braking zone. He sent it there, and now he's cut across, and that's another penalty. This will be Ryder Dahl's position fairly easily.
Just let him through.
Just let him through, I think, is the easiest thing. There's no point taking out poor Ryder Dahl.
Someone might fall top 10 here. I mean, he's so many penalties, and I think he'll get a Stewart's penalty for that as well.
I think so, but I think it's only fair we give a bit of a limelight to the man who's going to win the Drivers' Championship. Montana has been absolutely on it today. He has looked untouchable. Owen Wyatt, we just got to cut back, gets the spot on Henry. That's due to the damage.
You get a podium, yep.
We'll get a podium. It's only on the odd occasion we get to witness pure talent and craft in the mysterious art of Formula 1. Rarely, and I mean rarely, I really mean rarely, we see pure genius and a pure prodigy in an automobile, and that is what Montana is. His hands are a steering wheel and his feet are like pedals. As Ayrton Senna once said, the young Swiss gentleman on an escapade of glory. He's the pinnacle of a season built on emotion, and the very new Drivers' World Champion of the one-up Pinnacle tier is Montana! He takes it in what has been a pure race of dominance, and easily his best performance of the season. Montana is the champion, ladies and gentlemen. It was not the close finish like we've had all season. Montana wins in Canada and wins the Drivers' World Championship. Ryder Dahl takes second, Owen Wyatt takes third, Tom Robbo will come home fourth for his efforts, Henry in fifth, Khalifa sixth, Larkin seventh, Chalkers eighth, Samba. Chalkers has come out eighth after all that. Well done, Chalkers.
Fair play.
Samba in ninth, J. Cole in 10th, Nick 11th, Lakitu will come home in 12th, and Fetbass will probably be disqualified from the Grand Prix due to his actions, but Lakitu will come home in the final points position, and it was really a disappointing end for Tom Robbo, but Montana is the deserved champion after all of that, I feel.
Yeah, he obviously missed that race, and he definitely is kick driver all season. He's won 6 races, and I know Tom Robbo was upset with what happened in Italy, but Montana's been Mr. Consistent. He's just he hasn't really had a bad race all season. The bad results were due to bad luck, if anything. And
his worst result of the season is 6th in Abu Dhabi.
And every race has been the first or second, so you have to say he's been Mr. Consistent. And it's very much reminiscent of Max Verstappen recently, which is first or second all the time. And yeah, it's great champion. Well done, and he just totally deserved it. And Tom Robbo does secure a second in the championship, and we're going to have a battle royale we're going to have a close battle for third in the last race of the season.
The Swissman is the champion. He did not get the Grand Slam because his fastest lap was beaten by Samba. Rotterdam comes home second for the second time in 2 weeks. Owen Wyatt in third. Tom Robbo fourth. Henry fifth. Khalifa in sixth. Larkin seventh. Chalkers eighth. Samba ninth. J. Cole in 10th. Nick 11th. Fetbass 12th. Lakitu 13th. The Matter 14th. Konzo 15th. And Robin West in 16th. And now we do have to nominate driver of the day. And I'll let you go first, but I think it might be a bit of an obvious choice.
Yeah, well, it's like, it's so obvious. So I don't even really say, do it? But it has to be our world champion Montana for the qualifying, for the race, and for the season. Just totally domination, so comfortable everywhere. And I'm going to ask him a pretty obvious question. Say, well done, mate. You're the champion. A pretty dominant season. How do you feel now? And you must be relieved to get it done a race early.
I think I'm going to go for someone different here. And I'm going to go for Chalkers because the question I'm going to ask him is just fair play for keeping going. How did you manage the tyres to the end of the race, doing pretty much all the race on one set of tyres?
Yeah, fair play, good nomination. Yeah, just them two damage the first 2 laps, but he kept in there, never gave up, and got some solid points, and he may improve up further because I think there'll be quite a few stewards incidents tonight, so keep an eye out for that. But one thing that isn't in doubt, I don't think, is Montana's win. Just totally amazing, incredible.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champion has been crowned, and we thank you very much for joining us throughout the season. We still have one more fantastic week of racing in Portugal, and there is no championship fight, which means one thing for sure: chaos.
Yeah,
stay safe, ladies and gentlemen. Stay well, and we will join you next week for the final round of what has been a fantastic Pinnacle tier season. Goodbye.